one of the other things that helped us make the decision with Gilbert, at one point with Great River, about 2 years ago, I wanted to bring the distance between the field and the finished bread a little bit closer, and I wanted to be able to tell the story a little bit better. So I called up Great River and I said, "Where do you get your grains from?" They said, "The Great Plains." Cool. Can you give me the names of the farmers? You know, I'd like
the
to.
The general Great Plains. Yeah.
And I got no response on my email, and at that time I was thinking, oh well, I guess I asked a dumb question. And then I bump into Gilbert. On the label is where it comes from, who grows it, the county, and who is all being helped by this flour. And I saw that, and it was like finding the Holy Grail. It was everything that I was looking for.
Yeah.
You know, you were saying before, why can't we replicate this? I don't know, it would be great. It's unique. I know that this is part of the ethos that Dan Leader points at, and it's the approach that Bread Alone uses, sourcing locally grown organic grain. He goes and he visits the grain in the field, and he knows what he's going to get from year to year.
So here it is. Sifted pastry flour, Lonesome Stone Milling. We've got soft red winter wheat. We've got the farmer, Tom Martin, grows a lot for Lonesome Stone. Crawford County, this flour, best for. I mean, it's everything but the guy's social security number is on this product.
And it makes phenomenal pie crust, and it makes phenomenal cookies, and that's where we use it.
And these are these clean, white, beautiful sacks of great milled flour is what you get in.
That have to get carried upstairs.
Again, I ask, why is the heavy stuff always in the basement?
Concrete floors.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense. Pretty girls going out with ugly guys. We still don't get that one, but it's, you know. So how many loaves did you burn back in the day when you were just doing it as a hobby?
Actually, it was really hard for me to burn loaves when I was doing it as a hobby, just because my oven never got hot enough. And I was so anal retentive that I couldn't leave them in there long enough to get them to burn.
You were watching the pot, so it couldn't possibly boil.
Yeah, I had more underdone loaves than burned loaves.
Okay.
And a lot. I wasn't really, serious about it. This was never part of the plan. You made the comment before that we didn't know that this is what we were getting into. This was never intentional.
But your story is so similar to so many chefs that I've talked to, restaurateurs, artisanal makers, farmers, especially the younger ones, where they just got out of the way of who they were. And their lives took a completely different course than they ever imagined, but they're happier than they ever thought they would be.
Yeah, and that's an experience that we've had as well, and I'm glad you bring that up. Because at this point, I don't think I could go back and work for somebody.
Right.
I think I tried. Well, before I left my last job, I was there part-time, and
as an engineer.
Yeah, my head was not there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'd be able to take direction from anybody. I have a hard enough time taking direction from my wife.
It's probably good that she's front of the house and you're back here by the ovens.
We try to divide it, but we find, there's a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
As much as we try to divide it and say, you get that. This is the basil ricotta honey. This is with the ricotta cheese from Organic Valley. The basil comes from Springdale Farm up in Plymouth. And we do a bread share with them during the summer, and that's been a really great experience. And then the honey in there comes from Jenks, who will be out at the market today here in Lake Mills, because they're from Lake Mills.
It's experiencing the way that bread was prepared, not so with these, but prepared a little bit more deliberately, I guess, and with things that were nearby for centuries. I mean, we've got essentially, we had proteins, we had bread, we had beer, for as long as we have things written down and people doing recipes and eating.
Right.
Yeah. But they were sourcing from and what was in season and gristing it themselves, and
Exactly.
Get out of the way of the history.
It's funny
step
how
back
things come
into
back.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade this for anything. A lot of the love comes from how you choose the ingredients, what ingredients you choose to put in. So I treat the ingredients with respect because it means a lot to
Right.
me. Being able to do that and put these things in and then run to market and say, I got this, I made this over the weekend, here, try this. It's just a lot of fun. And I think that's where the passion comes from. You use the word artisanal, and I kind of...
You and I both.
I back away from
Yeah.
that term because there are certain people who are using that. There are large machine-driven operations that are using artisanal.
It's being bandied about way too much.
What we like to say is we make bread. Yeah,
There-
yeah, we make bread.
That's very-
and a lot of other things.
That's very zen of you.
All right, so what am I going to bite into?
This is our cheesy mushroom ciabatta. So that's got mushrooms from River Valley Ranch. That's got cheese, a medley of Swiss cheeses from Decatur Dairy, a smoked Swiss, a baby Swiss, and their Stettler Swiss, organic thyme, and onions from Jenner Family Farm, and garlic from Springdale Family Farm.
This thing that just happened to me with a great piece of bread is the gateway moment for so many people when they have something of this caliber, or that first vine-ripened heirloom tomato, or those eggs where the yolk is actually yellow-orange. It's like, you know, Dorothy's world just went from black and white to color. This is what good food tastes like. I mean, we can go on for hours with more, you know, delicate words, but this is what good food tastes like. So I'm going to pause from munching on your delicious bread and not do what my mom always corrected me for, which was talking with my mouth full, and say thank you. Thank you for leaving the life of engineering and being drafted into this actual artisanal bread world.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Dude,
Really appreciate it.
Thanks for rocking the flour. It's really good bread.